Shocker Track is back. In episode 7 of On Pace, we'll preview the indoor season. The indoor track and field season gets kicked off in the next 2 weeks with the Shocker Multi and the 11th annual Intrasquad meet. These are the annual season openers for the Wichita State track and field program, and we'll give everyone a preview of our entire team at our own Heskett Center.
The multi-event competition is the only part of the Intrasquad meet that is a counted varsity competition. If someone were to pop a NCAA qualifying standard, that it would count. We thought, man, we wouldn't want somebody to hit a big score and then not be able to make it to the NCAA meet. Both of these athletes, a couple of conference champions from previous years, Carly in the javelin and Ben in last year's decathlon. Really good athletes, and I'm really excited.
We trained through it a little bit as far as like not really letting it affect what's going to happen in the regular season, but we still take it really serious, and at least for me, it's like probably the most exciting meet of the year because you train super hard all summer and then really hard all fall, and you feel like you've gotten a lot better, so you're really excited to see what you can do.
I'm almost more excited to see how the newcomers and freshmen do than even myself, just because it's been really fun watching them grow and learn what it's like to be on a college track team.
This Intrasquad meet is a fun event.
First pick, the first round goes to Maria Marrero.
We have a literal draft, kind of try to fashion it after like an NBA draft, and the 3 teams select their athletes, and then those athletes are on that team for their whole college career.
RAYVON Allen.
Looking out for the white team to get this dub. I heard the gold team's been winning a lot, so I want to come here and get it done for the white team. Me personally, I just want to go get some good marks out for a longer triple jump and see how I'm doing, see how training's been going for me, so that's what I'm really looking forward to.
It's always really fun just competing against your teammates and kind of talking trash and all that. It's really fun. So
the trash talking starts like at the end of the meet for next year. We take it pretty serious.
There's been a lot of trash talk. I'm here to say Black Squad's making a comeback. Gray Squad's going to be close. Everyone's coming back to beat us for Gray Squad, and kind of nervous. I think Gray Squad's going to have a good chance, and I'm telling you now, Black Squad, we're on the prowl. So we're excited.
It's a new era in Wichita State athletics as we will enter the American Conference in track and field for the first time. The coaches and athletes are excited about the challenge. Here are some of their thoughts on what lies ahead.
We're fielding a generally young women's team. It's going to take some time for us to develop some of the newcomers. But on the men's side, we feel like we're going to field a pretty darn strong team, and we can compete tough. I am confident Houston, right this minute, has to be considered the favorite, but I know that our guys are wanting to get ready to compete and be ready that if they don't bring their A game, we'll be right there competing to win the championship.
We're going to prepare for it the same way we would, for the Missouri Valley. We're going to run as fast as we can, jump as far as we can, and just go in and do the best that we possibly can.
It's completely different this year. We have a new conference. We're excited. We're really motivated to be one of the top teams. We made this conference better. We want to show that we made this conference better.
I think we have the talent and the potential to just come in and really surprise some people.
Thank you for joining our roundtable discussion. Today's topic is going to be how do we make our sport of track and field and road racing more interesting and engaging for the general public. And we have some experts that we think we can delve into this topic with. Starting here at my left, this is Jason PARR. He's the distance coach and cross-country coach at Friends University. Next to him is elite runner and owner of First Gear running company, RAQUEL STUCKY. And next to her is Mark Phillips. He's the head coach at Cali County Community College. So I'll start with Jason here because you were a high school coach for many years and now you're a college coach. Are there some things we could do differently for our sport to make it more popular, to make it more fun to watch? Track meets can be kind of a long, drug-out thing sometimes. What do we do in our sport? What can we do?
Some things that I've talked about to my staff and coaches I've coached along with over the years is putting kind of those sprint medleys in between certain events to keep the excitement going, or adding a distance panel a night before an event, or a specific throws off with your your shot and your disc, and kind of like a big carnival. Each night would be its own thing. Maybe Thursday night you would do your throws, and Friday would be your distance panel, and just come back with your sprints on a Saturday. But I think for high school track meets, I think, yeah, those meets can become very long. We certainly don't want to make them any longer than they are sometimes. But I think adding in an event that is really uncommon, like a sprint medley or something in a high school meet, that would allow more kids an opportunity to compete. But I know that's something that needs to be discussed more. I know at the college level you get a little bit more freedom to do some things like that. I know at Friends, for our meet, we put on a distance carnival the night before where we can run our distance events, our mile and 5,000 and 10,000. And that allows runners to come back the next day to be able to do another event or two. I think we need to do something like that with the sprints or multi-events, where we get a chance to focus on putting our attention on certain areas of track and field. So
Raquel, as the non-coach here, like, what brings you out to a track meet, or what makes you want to go to see those events?
Well, I'm a fan of the sport, but if, that's part of it. The excitement of like distance carnival, or I know WSU does on their track meet. I really enjoy doing that because it's under the lights. That's so fun. I mean, I don't know, once you've done that before as an athlete and competed, I think that there are plenty of us out there that have done that. How do you attract those people that have been there before to come back? I tell you what, as soon as you come out and you watch a meet like that, I think it's nostalgic, so it brings back that excitement. I think that's, building a big track and field meet is, I'm sure it takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of community support. But I agree. I think adding things like that, it's fun. It's fun to come watch, big meets that have, I know KU Relays at one point was bringing in big time sprinters, and that did attract a lot of people. It attracts, ticket sales. It makes it a fun, event, or a fun night of track and field, a fun event to go watch. So things like that. I don't know so much as high school. I'm with you. Those track meets get long enough as it is. So, and that high school level is a little different because you've got so much parent family support. So a lot of times you are going to fill those stands, the stadiums. It's the collegiate level that I think is definitely needing a little bit more attention in that field. So
Mark, we've partnered together even in hosting meets. And what are your thoughts on this topic?
Well, I think it's what Jason was talking about. Creating a kind of more of a carnival atmosphere and getting the media to pay attention to what that atmosphere is. And like your meet here, like they were saying, that distance carnival and with the javelin in the middle on Friday night, that's just a neat event. And it makes for then a quicker day on Saturday. And I think we have to look at those things in college. I think we have to look at those opportunities to split up the meet and create the distance carnival and create a throws area and do stuff like that just to get the interest going, because just like the Kansas State meet that you guys host here, the media blows it up and everybody comes, and all the parents. I think in high school that the parent support and what you're talking about, the school support, is going to be there. It's a tougher thing in college because you and I, we go to the meets, and sometimes the only people there are the coaches and the athletes, and creating some atmosphere where somebody pays attention, I think, and that's hard. That's a hard one to do.
At our convention, we always talk about this topic: how do we make our sport more interesting at the Division I level? And I think that they're thinking about it a little differently than maybe a high school or even a junior college or an AI, because they're talking about television. They're trying to get on TV. We are as well. The WSU TV has broadcast some of our meets. Has been great. Couple things we talk about is having team scored shorter meets, so that a casual fan who maybe they go to a basketball game and they go there for 2 or 3 hours, and that's kind of their attention span is only about that far. It's hard to make a track meet that short that's effective. But so one of my things I think about is if we have those scored meets, the score has to be meaningful. We have a triangular now with Kansas and Kansas State, and that's meaningful to our kids. But there's a lot of track meets that they keep a score, and it really doesn't mean much. I would hope those scores are tied to something, maybe to a ranking or to something, a national qualifying system or something like that, so that you have to run your good athletes every time at those meets, and so that every race is meaningful, and that the people who are just average casual fans of Wichita State or Cali or friends want to come out to support the school, and not just the track fans out there. So what are your thoughts? There's a lot of ideas out there to how to make our sport better. How do you make a college track and field meet or a high school meet more interesting to get more fans to attend? So that's going to be something that we're going to talk about. And our last thing we want to real quick mention is I thought, what's your favorite event in track and field to go watch, or what's your favorite event to compete in? We'll go real quick around the panel.
My favorite event to watch is certainly 800. It's such a tactical race, and choosing to when to take off and when to choose to make that happen. Favorite race to do was the half marathon. I always enjoyed that distance. It was kind of the happy medium of distance running, but not marathon running. So I enjoyed the half marathon.
1500. That's just, I mean, that's like double the tactics, I guess, of the 800. So yeah, that's just fun. It's gutsy. It's all out, and boy, that can be left up to the last 100 meters, and it's kind of leaves you excited for a certain amount of time. That's just a little longer than an 800, and it just I enjoy watching them competing. The longer the better for me. So I really enjoyed, doing a 10K on a track. That didn't happen very often in college, but right now I think marathon definitely is my favorite to compete.
The pole vault. I was a vaulter, and I've had very continued success coaching the pole vault, and it's just exciting to go through the drama of who makes it and who doesn't and how many misses, and so that's my favorite.
So I love the 200 as a sprinter who wasn't the fastest guy, but had a little bit of strength and was able to catch those guys towards the finish as an athlete. But as a coach, I've really fallen in love with the 400 hurdles. It's just an event that's you find athletes that maybe aren't the fastest, or they, the 400 for some reason it doesn't fit exactly right for them, but the 400 hurdles, it kind of clicks. And been lucky enough to be around some true 400 hurdlers, and I was not a hurdler myself, but it's an event. It's weird as a coach, you kind of gravitate towards some things that are just fun, and the 400 hurdles has become something that I've really fallen in love with. So what's your favorite event? That's another thing we can talk about, so feel free to add your comments, and thank you for joining our discussion this week. And here's a look at the beginning of the indoor track and field schedule and the road racing scene.